statistics. I believe that he should have been in at least minors this season. I don't know about majors, but he is certainly minors quality, and if he stays in NLTP past this season, it's a travesty. Moneyballs, I couldn't find them at first because I had to Control F to try and look up some of their players, and apparently their symbol is the money symbol. So they're headed up by Clytus with a $sign. My notes on them were a bunch of $signs. So betting wise, you would think that you put it on Moneyballs, but I'm gonna have to go with Existence here because I think that they are headed up by such a talented offense. Oh, because Existence A has a bye. Ah, it said AB. Yes, quality. I don't know how I missed that, and I apologize, but it says AB on here, so that's how I got it mixed up. That does make it a little more interesting. I'm still going to give it to Existence B team, simply because I think that they've been performing really well this season. But thank you for pointing that out, me mega noob. I think that, hopefully that's my one mistake in this whole thing. My one big mistake. Noah's Ark B versus Harry Popper's A. This is a real... This is probably going to be one of my favorite matchups to watch in the first round. Hopefully somebody records this. Because it's a very, very odd matchup. Typically you would think that the A teams would dominate the B teams, but I'm seeing Noah's Ark being able to pull this one off quite handily. If their record says anything. I mean, you look at the Harry Popper starting lineup, they got Apide and Squiggly 10, who are both very good players. But with a 1-8-1 record, they have really struggled this season. I'm not sure if that is due to some people not being able to show up, or lag issues, chemistry issues. You can put a bunch of good players on a team and they'll still be terrible together. Noah's Ark B has it down right now though. Monsta, 9.65 gas bell with a 9.27 overall, leading his team to an 8-2 record so far in the season. I'm gonna have to give it to Noah's Ark. However, if Harry Poppers are able to pull it off, I think that you might be able to see an upset in the next round versus Existence. If they can get their chemistry going, this could be a turning point in the season for them. Money balls are stacked. Are they stacked? Alright. If you insist. Whitecaps B versus 21A, or 21 Duke Street A. This is also going to be a relatively close matchup. Whitecaps B are headed up by Pop and Kid Clutch on offense and defense respectively. They are top of the Northeast Division presently with a 6-3-1 record. And the 21 Duke Street A team is 5-5 on the season, with Mr. Fruitsy as their primary starting O with 9.07 gasp O and 8.76 overall, and the Bob 18, the one that got left behind, on D. He has an 8.41 gasp D overall. This should be a very interesting matchup. I think Fruitsy, I think he's a good player, but I think that Pop will be able to be just as good an offender, and right now the Whitecaps B team are performing fairly well, so I'm going to actually give it to them over the 21 Duke Street A team. In our next matchup, we have the Ping Slayers B team versus the Circular Logic A team, and the Circular and the English has not come out. The Circular Logic A team has struggled so far this season with an 0-6-4 record thus far. The 4 being ties. So it's certainly far removed from last season's dominant performance both with A and B team, and I think that I don't know what happened. Obviously, it's a different team, but they certainly have not had the success that they enjoyed last season. Ping Slayer's B team is quite stacked. They have the number one offensive defensive player in Axe, Boomerang, whatever you want to call him, 4 minus signs and right parentheses. He has a 10 overall DGASP, and I believe it was an 8 something OGASP. And with him, everybody's favorite nice guy, Dwarf Fortress, who has also enjoyed quite the great statistical season. On offense, you have Goo and Bonerfart, and what's very interesting about this team is 3 of their players are in the top 10 statistically for B team. Axe is number 1, Goo, I believe, is number 4, and Dwarf Fortress was number 10. Although it might be swapped with Dwarf Fortress and Goo. I think Bonafart made top 40. But this team certainly, I would put right now as the favorite to be able to move on to the championship for B team. So I'll have to go with Pingslayer's B team in this matchup to set up a very interesting second round matchup between the Night Watch A team. That one hopefully will also be available for our viewing pleasure. Spaceballs B team versus Soviet Ballers B team. It's a matchup that you might actually see. Amazing. I didn't have a whole lot to say about this one, though. These are 2 teams that just go about their business, and they do relatively well. Soviet Ballers have the top GASP O player in the league, and some idiot. He has a 9.96 overall, but he is only plus minus 5. So this is really going to be a matchup where the Soviet Ballers defense is going to have to step it up. Against the number 2 team in the Pacific Division in Spaceballs. So if they can step it up, I can see an upset happening here. I think it's a relatively close matchup, and I'm actually going to give it to the Soviet Ballers B team simply because I think that somebody has been playing very well, and I think that they can step it up on the defensive end in order to get the victory. Let's see, the Lion Ping A team versus Wrecked Rollers. I have to go with the Lion Ping A team here. I'm very sorry to the Wrecked Rollers, but they're 0-9-1 on the season so far. I have to base it on the numbers. Yeah, that's just how I see it right now. Sorry. Nevermores versus the Pink Slayers, both A teams as well. And I deferred to the statistics on this one as well and gave it to the Nevermores A team. Alright. Next matchup is going to be between the Little Merballs and the Incrediballs B team. I believe that this matchup is ridiculously stacked in the Merballs' favor, with S and Trendy Grubs starting on O, Fuzzball, Dance, and Tyrant. Their rotation 4 defense. Sorry, I had to adjust my microphone. They're 11th overall in MLTP right now, and I think that this tournament they could use a couple of wins. It would actually be really good for them if they were able to move on to the next round, which I think that they'll be able to do handily because they'll be facing Balcomedes in the next round, and not their minors team, the majors team. Minors is Raccoon Apocalypse. But if they're able to reach this and pull off a victory, I could see them going on to, I believe that's the quarterfinals all the way over here. Although Whitecaps A team is certainly going to be a team not to sneeze at. Oh, I'm sorry, as if... Oh, phone call. I'll talk to them later. Okay. Who do we have here? Balls on Parade versus the Christina Tagliara's B team. This is a B team matchup that I actually think is going to be a very good matchup. The Balls on Parade B team have a 4-3-1 record on the season. I believe there are 2 games missing from the spreadsheet, so I'm not sure if they're better or worse than that. Their primary offender is 4-pi-r squared, and they have Stormcrow as well, one of our friendly European players. And Christina Tagliara's have Danny on O and T Platypus on D. Both of them have so far had really excellent seasons, as have 4-pi-r and Stormcrow. However, I'm going to defer to the Tagliara's in this matchup. Oh, how did I skip? Oh, nope. This one right here. For a premier matchup versus Pop and Block and Probots in the next round. Sorry, Balls on Parade. If you pull it off, that would be great. Another premier matchup. and I say that, yeah, lol, sorry. Yes, you all can email me now. Ay. Of course, it pops up. I didn't mean to have that pop up. It's whatever. Now you can look me up on Facebook and everything. Oh well. It's between the Red Hot Chili Poppers A-Team versus the Bad News Balls. Now, why am I saying this is going to be a premier matchup? Your Bad News Balls, as everybody knows, are 0-9-1 on the season. Their 1 point has come from a tie. When Honeybear drafted this team, I believe he might have overvalued a couple players, but it's definitely been a chemistry thing, so much so that Honeybear has decided to step aside for the time being. And he picked up Chris Ball from the All Caps for Helen Keller the other day so that Chris Ball could get some major starting time. The Small Caps Miners offense has been pretty much set in stone for a while, and it's been kind of rotating in a weird way. So Chris Ball being able to get this experience, he certainly deserves it after an excellent season on Sphere Factor last season. So the starting lineup would be Spiller, Howard, Chris Ball, and CC, I believe, versus the Chili Poppers, who actually have some very good talent. They have Faye and Not Prey, who are an excellent starting offensive lineup. If they're able to get it rolling, I could see them pulling off the win. I certainly hope that Honeybear's team wants to take this matchup seriously, because their season, as Super Sans was talking about earlier, was already kind of over. So this is... I'm gonna have to go with the Chili Poppers in this matchup. I hate to do that to Honeybear. I think that his team could pull it off, but I don't even know if they're going to show up, and that's something that you also have to keep in mind if you're going to make your own bracket of predictions. It's not everybody might show up, and I certainly hope that they do, because I think this would actually be a really fun matchup for both teams. I could see the Chili Poppers pulling it off. I think that they have some decent chemistry, despite a 5-5 record, and I would love it if they'd be able to pull it off. That would be something that would be a lot of fun for a team to be able to do. Oh, Ishii, what the bleep? Hey man, I've seen 15 seeds beat 2 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Crazy things happen. Who knows? Alright, next up is going to be one of my favorite matchups, I think, of the entire thing, between Balls on Parade A-Team and Christine Tagliara's A-Team. Both teams have a similar record at 4-5-1. Balls on Parade starting lineup, I believe, is Exquisite, Aaron, Ball McCartney, and Where's Baldo. 3 of those players have minors experience. I believe Aaron does anyway, and I'm not sure about Ball McCartney, but Where's Baldo and Exquisite both have had minors experience.